morning, everyone. My name is Schaeffer. I'm Executive Director of the Diesel Technology Forum, and I want to welcome everyone to our Clean Diesel Showcase here today, and thank you for coming out. I'd like to begin with a special thanks this morning to our Air Resources Board Chair, Mary Nichols, Executive Officer James Goldstene, Deputy Executive Officer Tom Caquette, and many others at the ARB who helped us put together this event over the last few months. Thank you very much. Today we're coming together for one simple reason, and that is to recognize a fundamental transformation and arrival of a new generation of clean diesel technology, one that's based on using the most advanced diesel engines, ultra-efficient emissions control technology, and clean ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel. Diesel engines play an important role in key sectors of California's economy, and as a total, diesel contributes about $13 billion on an annualized basis here in California. To the broader U.S. economy, diesel contributes about $483 billion, and about 1.25 million jobs are directly related to diesel engines. I should say diesel's economic importance is matched only by its progress in reducing emissions and improving air quality. Here are a few examples. According to the ARB, from 1990 through 2015, fine particulate matter from heavy-duty diesel engines will have declined by nearly 74%, from non-road construction machines by 63%, and 73% in farm equipment. And for NOx, a component of smog formation, a particular concern here in California, those emissions will have declined by about 21% in heavy-duty trucks, 52% in non-road equipment, and about 65% in farm equipment. In fact, today, you see a chart up here in the front, more fine particles come from brake and tire wear in California than from diesel engines. That's quite a remarkable accomplishment. Looking around, I see a lot of familiar faces who've been on this journey with us together, and I'm remembering that the ARB used to be over on L Street, and we've spent a lot of time in the basement hearing rooms there 10 years ago, sort of hammering out this pathway to get where we are today. And it's a great opportunity to be back together. It's been quite a journey, one that's really been defined by partnership and cooperation with industry, government, environmental groups, and others. Today we can stand here and see the results of that investment. So let me say a word about what's here today. Just today in Washington, the debate's continuing, as you know, in Congress about our next generation infrastructure and highway projects. And here in Sacramento, you can explore the next generation of the kinds of road construction equipment from Caterpillar and John Deere that will do this work. And I would say that we have enough construction equipment here. We could start the King's new stadium project right now. I mean, let's just get on with it, right? This is a big news in this town, and we can help out in that regard. You can take a look at the next generation of commercial truck technology that stocks your grocery store. You can look at our Mack Pinnacle tractor out here and our Cummins and Detroit diesel engine displays. You'll see the power behind California's agricultural industry. California ranks #1 in the country in agricultural production. AGCO tractor on that end, and the John Deere tractor here as well. California's ports and food processors and many other businesses rely on reliable, continuous power. And that means having emergency backup diesel generators in place. And you'll see those here displayed from Volvo Penta, and MTU has a display over here. And you also see the latest in emissions control technology from Cummins and Donaldson, technologies we can retrofit onto some existing engines and equipment. And finally, California is #1. It's the #1 state in registrations for diesel passenger cars and diesel pickup trucks. And we've got a great showing of those here today with the Volkswagen Jetta, a Dodge Ram pickup with the Cummins engine, and the the Chevy Silverado, with the Duramax diesel. So we've got a great display here today, and in just a moment you're going to have a chance to hear from a couple of the representatives of the diesel industry. I'd like to now, though, introduce you to someone that you already know, and that's Mary Nichols, who's the board chairman of the California Air Resources Board. Now, Mary was unable to be with us today in person, but she was kind enough to tape some remarks for us prior to today's event. So we're going to play a video.
I want to welcome you today to the Diesel Technology Forum. I wish I could be there in person to walk around and touch the trucks myself. I can't do that, so I'm with you today by video. Earlier today, two researchers, John Wall and Jacob McDonald, presented some findings of work that they've been doing to try to demonstrate what the actual real-world emissions reductions from these new technologies has been. And the results are very exciting. You know, we started this process with a goal here at the state level and working with our federal partners. We've been working for years now to try to reduce the health risk from diesel air pollution. And we've had tremendous success thanks to the willingness and the ability of the industry to get creative when faced with the challenge of reducing emissions of nitrogen oxides and fine particles. Today's diesel engines emit about 90% less of these pollutants than they did when we first started this effort. And while we still have work to do, especially in turning over the fleet of older vehicles that are out there on the roads, the fact is that we've seen actual air quality improving, especially around our ports where we first started the effort to really turn over the fleet. So we're still facing the need for incentives, which we in California have been fortunate to be able to step up to the plate with some funding to help make this transition. We have more work to be done, but we've really come a long way, and we're looking forward to continuing that progress. I want to thank Alan Schaeffer of the Diesel Technology Forum and the Engine Manufacturers Association for bringing all these great vehicles out to 11th Street in Sacramento, and for all the good work in putting this forum together.
Thank you very much, Mary. We appreciate all of your leadership in that regard as well. And now I'd like to introduce James Goldstene, who is Chief Executive Officer here at the ARB, a job he has held since 2007. James has a long and distinguished career in many aspects of California government, and he's the one who gets the job done here. He implements the regulations, programs, and policies that are enacted by the board. He makes the trains run on time, I'm told. Most recently, he's had a major role in the implementation of AB 32, which you're all familiar with. Thank you very much for accommodating us.
Really great to be here. We've been trying to get this done for a long time, and I'm really happy that we're able to do it this morning on this beautiful day. As you can see, Mary and I do all we can not to be at the same place at the same time. So, but she really did want to be here, and I'm glad that she was able to find time to prepare those remarks so you could hear how committed she is to the work we're doing here with the Diesel Technology Forum and this showcase. So the clean engines in these trucks and the other machines on the street today are the result of a collaborative effort between ARB, EPA, and the diesel engine and vehicle industries. For more than a decade, we've been putting more and more stringent diesel emission and clean fuel standards in place at ARB. And at every stage, ARB has responded admirably by developing a range of technologies that deliver clean diesel engines. These impressive advances in technology are helping California meet the aggressive public health goals of the Diesel Risk Reduction Plan adopted by my board in 2000. And we're on track to reduce the statewide diesel risk by 85% by the year 2020. We learned recently from a study about the impressive gains in air quality at our ports thanks to our drayage truck rules, which required the replacement of more than 40,000 trucks at the ports, and the accelerated introduction of clean diesel engines. As the statewide fleet turns over, air quality throughout California will continue to improve from our collaborative investment in new diesel technology. As you know, ARB is working hard to make this happen. Our incentive programs like Prop 1B speed up the retrofit of trucks and other equipment at California ports, in our rail yards, and along our transportation corridors. These programs, again, and one of the other programs that's well known as our Moyer program, also help clean up off-road equipment and assist fleet owners with early replacement of their trucks. This will help ensure a cost-effective transition to the new technology over the coming years. This is great news for California. It's a win-win for the technology manufacturers and the public health goals that we're trying to achieve in California. I hope that you, after we do a few more minutes of us talking to you, that you spend time looking at the different vehicles, the cars, and tractors and the other machines out here. It's a very impressive show that the Diesel Technology Forum has put on today, and I thank Alan and everybody else for helping us put this together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. I appreciate your being here and being part of it today. Now I'd like to turn to our other presentations this morning, and I'd like to first begin with Jed Mandel. Jed is the the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Truck and Engine Manufacturers Association. And EMA has been working with ARB for really a number of decades on making diesel engines cleaner and more efficient. So please join me in welcoming Jed Mandel.
Thanks, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I was listening to Alan's comments about having previously done work down the street at L Street. I used to start over at Q Street when ARB was over there. So I go back even further than that. I remember those maze of offices. And as we think about sort of revisiting the past, it was in 1977 that the Clean Air Act was amended to require, among many other things, that by 1998, nitrogen oxide emissions from trucks could not exceed 4 grams per brake horsepower hour. Given the well-understood trade-off between NOx, particulate matter, and fuel economy, 1998 was pretty well viewed as the end of the line for the diesel engine. As we now know, 1998 was really just the beginning. In the intervening years, the Clean Air Act was amended again to include non-road engines and equipment within its scope. There was a multiple series of ever more stringent diesel emission regulations that were adopted by the California Resources Board and the Environmental Protection Agency. Low sulfur and then ultra low sulfur diesel fuel specifications were implemented. Particulate emissions from diesel engines were listed as a toxic air contaminant. The Diesel Risk Reduction Plan was approved and implemented. AB 32 was adopted. I feel like I'm in the middle of a Billy Joel song. You know, we didn't start the fire. But what a difference a day makes, or in this case, approximately 12,775 days. What a difference when your product goes from being labeled dirty diesel to being called clean diesel. I want to thank Mary, James, and Tom Kiket, others here at the Air Resources Board for their leadership, their vision, their tenacity. I first met Mary in 1978 during her initial tour of duty at the ARB when those 77 Clean Air Act amendments were adopted. Later, I got to work with her at EPA when it developed the world's most challenging technology-forcing standards, and when our industry remarkably stepped up and met that challenge. We continue to work with Mary and ARB today to further improve fuel specifications, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and most importantly, given our incredible success in developing high-performing, fuel-efficient, durable, and clean diesel engines, we're working to turn over the fleet as quickly as possible. In a changing world, what is beautiful about diesel power has stayed beautiful, and that which was unattractive has been eliminated. We embrace the fuel efficiency, the power, the performance, the reliability, the durability, the low hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emissions, and high torque of diesel power. We essentially have eliminated NOx and PM emissions. We've minimized noise, and we burn a very, very low sulfur fuel. EMA and its members are proud to be here today with ARB and the Diesel Technology Forum to show off a little. Today's diesel engines reduce the emissions and risks of diesel particulate matter by well over 90% compared to diesel engines of the past. The emissions levels of PM 2.5, NOx, and gaseous toxic air contaminants from today's diesel engines are down to levels found in the exhaust emitted from gasoline and compressed natural gas vehicles. Our products are helping to contribute to California's projected statewide diesel reduction of 85% by 2020. This is an impressive achievement. Please come see for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jed. And we have about 30 representative leaders here today from the Diesel Technology Forum and Engine Manufacturers Association, and that would be a pretty long press conference. So we've asked two of representatives to join us here this morning to talk with you about their work in making diesel technology better.
Caterpillar is the nation's leading manufacturer of construction equipment and manufactures heavy-duty diesel engines ranging from 10 to 21,000 horsepower. With us today is Tana Utley, who is Vice President and Chief Technology Officer of Product Development and Global Technology for Caterpillar. Tana oversees Caterpillar's vast research and development activities. Prior to that, she worked in the large engine group there, so she knows and helped create the clean diesel engine that Caterpillar has today. Tana, please join us.
So Caterpillar is really happy to be here today to celebrate this momentous occasion. This is actually our birthplace. Caterpillar was founded in California back in 1925, and it was founded on innovation, and it was an innovation of putting a diesel engine into a tractor and inventing the track-type tractor. This innovation reduced the operating costs at the time by about 25%. The old diesel engine that was invented back then and put in that tractor is now in the Smithsonian Institute. And we call her Old Betsy, and she's our favorite old girl. You know, since those days, back in 1925, Caterpillar and our industry partners as well have spent literally billions of dollars in R&D in this quest to near zero emissions. Thousands of engineering careers have been built upon this quest. People work around the clock to make this happen, and I'm so happy to be here to celebrate that accomplishment. As we've done all of that R&D, we work hard to maintain the customer value at the same time while reducing these emissions. It's so imperative for this industry that we remember that the diesel engine is really the workhorse of our industry and continue to provide the customer value, reliability, durability, power density that our customers need, expect, and they also deserve. Our Tier 4 engines in the off-road space with those near zero emissions also have improved customer value, 5% better fuel consumption. We have a couple of our machines out here, and I'd like you guys to take a look at those. We have an asphalt paver, the asphalt paver 1000E. It has not only near zero emissions, but it also has an economy mode that can help to reduce fuel consumption. It has grade and slope control, which take operation of that machine out of the user's hands and is semi-autonomous. This enables significant improvements in productivity and less fuel consumption. Also has improved visibility. It's a safer machine than the predecessor. Our 966K out here is a wheel loader. Not only does it have the near zero emissions, improved fuel consumption, it has joysticks to operate it so that the young kids coming out of school today can go operate these machines a lot easier to operate. Has a camera in the rear for safety so that the operator can see where he's going, and it's 96% recyclable, which gets me really to the next point, and that is what happens to these machines after their first life. Well, 96% recyclable is a good start, but we also have done quite a bit of retrofitting. In 2011 alone, we upgraded more than 650 machines to a more advanced level of emissions. So we're really proud of that, and that's not just last year, by the way. That work has been going on for the past decade. So I think back to our favorite old girl, back to Old Betsy, and what would she think if she were here today? You know, she would be glad to know that we aren't just celebrating this success, which she could never have imagined, but we're also thinking about the future, thinking about what's next for alternative fuels, how can we improve customer value, and what kind of things are our researchers, those young folks back at our shops, thinking about that we can't even imagine today. Whatever they think and whatever they dream, I can tell you commitment from industry is to continue the collaborative spirit. What a momentous occasion, really, to be here celebrating industry, all of our partners, as well as CARB. Thank you, everybody, for the collaboration, and I look forward to a continued bright future in this industry.
Thank you very much, Tana. Cummins Incorporated is headquartered in Columbus, Indiana, and Cummins is a global power leader that designs, manufactures, sells, and services diesel engines in lots of different places, over 190 countries. With us today is Dr. John Wall, who is the Vice President and Chief Technology Officer for Cummins. John, please join us.
Thanks, Alan. Although Cummins didn't start in California, Klesse Cummins did retire to Sausalito, so we do have some connections back to the state. Being the last on the agenda, the material gets to be a narrower window, so I've actually loaded up the 64 slides that Jake and I went through earlier today, and if we get any tough questions, I'm prepared to crank those up. Seriously, I would like to say a couple things to reinforce some points that have been made. One is the importance of the partnership that we've had between industry and the Air Resources Board and with the EPA. And that's not just a gratuitous comment. Technology is required to support emissions regulations. Emissions regulations drive technology. And together we have to be able to plot the right path of technology, the sort of the technology march as we develop our engines, as we develop the associated technologies, exhaust after treatment, turbochargers, and other things that have been applied, as we implement those. And we have to remember that all of that has to come together to the benefit of our customers, because the only way you get low emission technology in the marketplace is people buy it. And typically they don't buy it because it has low emissions. They buy it because it's a good capital investment. Their livelihoods depend on it. In many cases, lives depend on the reliability of the product. So the engines and the equipment that you see around here today are really being delivered to meet low emissions, but also deliver value to the customers. It's really, really very important. This has also been, in addition to a technology march, it's been very much a personal march. For me, after being involved in the emissions technology development, and for thousands of other engineers who've gone to school and studied and learned about engine design and combustion, and have gone to work in industry, have gone to work in regulatory agencies, or working in labs like Sandia up in Livermore, where the combustion research that they do there with the laser diagnostics has really been fundamental to our ability to make these advances in emissions control. So there are a lot of people that have committed themselves to this over time that really ought to be recognized at a time like this. Finally, as you all know, diesel engines are very durable. They last for a long time. So as we develop these new technologies, one of the questions that comes up is how long are we really going to see the atmospheric benefit? And I think, the state of California especially has been very progressive about establishing incentives to be able to turn over the fleet, for us to be able to introduce these advanced technologies on a faster rate and apply them in areas, especially like the ports of LA, not just on the open highways, but in areas and neighborhoods that can truly benefit immediately from low emissions. So we really appreciate that partnership with California and with all the institutions that we've been involved with, and we're certainly looking forward to continue to innovate and deliver low emissions technology that work the way they're supposed to work in the hands of our customers. At Cummins, we call that innovation you can depend on, and it's an important guiding theme for us, and we look forward to continue to applying it on behalf of the state of California and all the other people that buy our products. It's a pleasure to be here today. Please do take the time to go out. A lot of engineers have been working really hard to create these displays for you, so don't disappoint them. Please go out there and take a look, and we'll be happy to talk to you about them. Thanks.
Thank you very much, John. That concludes our prepared remarks for today. Let me just offer a few closing comments. And you've heard about the last 10 years of making diesel very low emissions, near zero for particulates and nitrogen oxides. And the next chapter is making diesel engines, of course, more efficient and lower in emissions of greenhouse gases. We're off to a good start. You've heard about some of the productivity gains and efficiency and fuel consumption of the heavy-duty trucks and the off-road machines. That's a great opportunity. So now we have that opportunity. You can go explore your inner child. All of us at one point in our lives wanted to go look at a big Tonka toy construction machine or a farm tractor. So we've got those here for you today to really look at in person. And with that, we hope you'll get a chance to do that. If anyone has any questions, we'll be happy to entertain those right now as well. Any questions from the audience, from the media? Okay, well, if not, thank you again for being here, and we're going to be around all afternoon, so please hang around, have a lunch on us if you're able to, and we'll see you here at the display. Thank you very much.